Earth's atmosphere is a layer of gases surrounded the planet Earth and retained by Earth's gravity. It contains roughly 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen, 0.97% argon, and carbon dioxide, 0.04% trace amount of other gases and water vapors. The mixture of gases is commonly known as air. The atmosphere protects life on Earth by absorbing ultraviolet solar radiation and reduces temperature extreme between day and night. Good morning, students. I welcome you to today's GK class. Today, we are going to do page number 21 of your book, in which we are having some words of scientific vocabulary which ends with sphere, although they have no link with the spherical shape of Earth. We have some clues related which describes these sphere ending words. We have to take the help of help box. Let's do. Before starting the topic, let's see the learning outcomes. After the completion of the topic, students, you will be able to identify the words ending with sphere in context to the meaning given. You will be able to choose the correct word from the list for the given definitions. You will be able to describe these words which end with the sphere in your own words. Good morning, students. Today we are going to do page number 21 of your book. It is about an atmosphere of spheres. There are many words in scientific vocabulary which ends with sphere, although they have no link with the spherical shape of Earth, but they describe the other things. Here on this page we have some clues and we have to write the name of those words. Let's start. The first one is hemisphere. An imaginary line called equator divides the earth into two halves, that is the northern and the southern hemisphere. Or in other words, hemisphere is a half of the earth usually as divided into northern and southern halves by the equator, or into western and eastern halves by an imaginary line passing through the poles. The second one is hydrosphere. A hydrosphere is the total amount of water on the surface of Earth. The hydrosphere includes water that is on the surface of the planet, underground, and in the air. A planet's hydrosphere can be liquid, vapor, or ice, or in other words, the waters of Earth's surface. The third one is bathysphere, a spherically strong steel vessel used for deep sea observation, or in other words, the bathysphere was a unique spherical deep sea submersible which was underpowered and lowered into the ocean on a cable. It is a spherical steel vessel used in undersea observations, provided with port holes and suspended by a cable from the port. The fourth one is ionosphere. Ionosphere, the layer of atmosphere extending 1000 km above the surface of the earth, which reflects radio waves. In other words, ionosphere is ionized part of Earth's upper atmosphere from about 60 km to 1000 km altitude, a region that includes the thermosphere and parts of mesosphere and exosphere. The ionosphere is ionized by solar radiations. It influences radio propagation to distant places on the earth. Ionosphere, the upper layer of Earth's mantle, whose capacity for gradual flow is thought to rise to continental drift. In other words, the asthenosphere is the ductile part of the earth just below the lithosphere, including the upper mantle. The asthenosphere is about 180 km thick. The sixth one is biosphere, the region of Earth's crust and atmosphere occupied by a living organism. In other words, biosphere is the global ecological system integrating all living beings and their relationships, including their interaction with the element of lithosphere, gasosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. Seventh one is lithosphere, the crust of the earth, or in other words, a lithosphere is the rigid outermost shell of a terrestrial type planet or natural satellite that is defined by its rigid mechanical property. On on earth it is composed of the crust and the portion of the upper mantle that behaves elastically on time scales of thousands of years or greater. The eighth one is troposphere, the layer of atmosphere nearest to the earth in which weather changes occur. Or, in other words, the troposphere is the lowest layer of Earth's atmosphere and site of all weather on the Earth. The troposphere is bounded on the top by the layer of air called the tropopause, which separates the troposphere from the stratosphere, and on the bottom by the surface of the Earth. Do you know, kids? The thin hydrogen layer above the visible surface of the sun, known as chromosphere, has the temperature of about thousands degrees Celsius. Students, I told you by the end of this topic, you will be able to identify the words ending with sphere. You will be able to describe them in your own words. Now, I have one task for you to do. You have to tell me which layer of atmosphere contain ozone layer. Thank you and have a cheerful day.